Hello, students. Welcome to another lesson using Autodesk Inventor. This case, what I want to show you is how to make the mallet with its handle. And this goes along with the pegboard that you'll be creating. So without further ado, let's get started quickly. I just want you to search in the bottom left for Autodesk Inventor on your computer, Autodesk, Inventor Professional 2018. Use the 2018 version, and that's the one I'm demonstrating here. And it pops up on your screen. You may see a bunch of little boxes here that filled with things that you've made before, but in this case, just click the X up here in the upper right and get rid of that interior window. Now I'm just going to start by using the mallet. Now there is a drawing with the assignment, and it has all the measurements. I've memorized them. I know what they are, so I'll go quickly from memory. So I start new, standard IPT, and then create. And then you're going to get an interior window popping up, and that's the interface. Over here on the left side, that's called the browser, and on the right, I'm squeezing this box in and pulling it then to the right so that I can expose this orbital cube here that I need to use to navigate in my scene. And then start a 2D sketch. And then I'm going to go on the XY plane, and I'm going to create a rectangle initially, and that starting at the origin, dragging up and to the right. And then I can see at the top, it says 0.203. That's where I'm going to type a measurement, 0.875. And I'm going to hit tab and then type 3, enter. And then zoom out with my mouse wheel and then press with my mouse wheel. Maybe zoom in a little bit. Just to note, the size is 0.875 wide by 3 inches tall. And then I'm going to use circles to make little cutouts on what will eventually become my mallet head. So what I'm going to do is start about halfway down here and go click, and then drag out a 0.5. So I want the radius of this circle to be 0.5, enter. Actually, that turned out to be the diameter. I want the diameter of my circle to be 0.5. And then, so I'm going to click, drag, type 0.5, enter, and there it is. 2 equal circles right on that right side line. And then I'm going to use the dimension tool, and I'm going to select the top of my rectangle, click, in the center of one of my circles, click, and drag my dimension out, and then click on that number, click, and enter 0.5. So that means the center of my circle is 0.5 inches from the top of my circle, rectangle. Now I'm going to do the same at the bottom. Click the bottom of my rectangle, click the center of my circle at the bottom here, click, drag it out to the side, click, and enter 0.5, enter. Now I'll use the trim tool. You've probably seen this in a previous thing where you made the pegs. In this one, I just click, click, and I'm getting rid of these parts of the circle that I don't want. And now the mallet head is virtually done. You're going to revolve this profile. So you finish sketch. Again, I'm panning and zooming in and out with my mouse wheel. So now I'm going to use the Revolve tool. It's up here at the top. It's just click Revolve, and the profile is already highlighted, and even the blue axis button is already highlighted. So I click the axis right here on the inside, click, and it revolves around. And just click OK, and it's all done. And then there's another tool you could try, or a couple different tools you might want to look at. There's the chamfer tool. It's sort of like when you're sanding a flat surface on something. So like here, if I click an angular, it will create a flat angular surface. And down here, click, and then apply. Or let's just say I wanted a more rounded surface. Just go Control Z, Control Z. Oops, you can go forward. Notice up here there are buttons, backwards, forwards. So I can go forwards, or you can go backwards using Control Z, I believe, Control Y. Let's try that. Control Z, Control Y. See, Control Y goes forward. Anyway, I can use the Fillet Tool. It's just the same thing as a chamfer, except it's a rounded surface. Click, click here, click here, apply. Don't forget to apply after every operation. See, and there's this window, and I'm just going to close. And then you can use this cube to orbit around and see what it looks like. All right, so I'm looking at this thing in the front view. See the cube? I click front. It's nice and flat. It's right there centered. So now I'm going to put the handle in, and this is how you put handles on, or the handle on this particular case. You use this tool called the plane. So what you're going to do is make a plane, draw on the plane, and extrude your object from a plane. So I'm going to select plane, and then you go over to this browser, and right next to this folder called Origin, there's a little arrow. Click that, and then you're going to look and see, like if I want my plane to stick out of the side to the right or left, I can use the YZ plane, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select that YZ plane, and then I grab this yellow handle, and what I do by clicking it is kind of locking it into place. See how it's sort of locked in? You'll see an arrow now, and click check. And now slicing towards me is this plane. And again, if I click on front and then rotate it 90 degrees, now I'm looking at it from right view, and my plane is facing me, and the plane is what I want to draw on. So I go up to this top where it says start a 2D sketch. Remember, click on the top portion of this button at all times. Click. And then in order to activate this, you have to click on the yellow perimeter line. Click. And you'll see it move a little bit. That means it's active and you can draw on it. So what I want to do is a 1/2 inch handle, and that handle is going to be 9 inches sticking out from the very center of the mallet head. So right here, I'm going to select the circle and then bring my cursor over until I see that center dash line that shows that I'm pinpointed the center of this. Click and stretch. And again, to make it a 1/2 inch, just type 0.5 and enter. Now you can't see it. You can actually see the dimension. You can't see your circle, but use the dimension tool. Click, click the top line on your mallet head. Click, and search for the center of your circle. Click, and then you're going to drag this dimension off to the right side or left side. Click the number and type 1.5 because that's half of 3. Check or enter. And now I know there's a circle. See, there's a circle in there. Can't see it, but there it is. And it's right in the middle of my mallet head. And at this point, just finish sketch, go to the extrude tool, select it, and your circle turns blue. And I'm just going to go 9 inches. And because this button's selected, I'm assuming that mallet handle is, extruding out towards me. Click, and then you can click OK, and then orbit and see if it worked out. And it did. Yep. Okay. And now you might ask, how do I get rid of this plane? I don't like that. So you can right on that right, or that yellow perimeter line, right click, and there's a visibility checkbox to uncheck. And now the plane went away. It's actually still there. And you can see all the components of your model over in this browser. You've got this origin folder where your planes are, and then you got the revolution and a fillet and another extrusion for the mallet handle and the work plane. You can see, and as you put your cursor over these things that you highlight, it's just going to be useful in future, more advanced lessons. Anyway, another thing to do possibly is up here at the top, the second box up here from the left is this default box, which is all the colors and materials. So I'm clicking this drop down menu, and I'm going to create a gold mallet. So I click glossy gold. Let's try glossy gold. Glossy gold. Nope. How about gold metal? Yeah. And remember, you can always take fillet. Maybe this is like a toddler's mallet, and he's not going to want to pinch himself, so you can click fillet at the end and apply to round that out. A good designer would do such a thing. And there you have it. Don't forget to save. File, save as, and then name it Mallet. Mallet. And then it's going in my downloads folder. Actually, look it. I created a pegboard folder before, so I'm going to double click that and save it in that very folder called the pegboard project. Save. And now, again, I'm going to File, Export, Image, and then I want to export a PNG into my Downloads folder, and then save. And now that I believe it's saved, I go to the folder and verify that my Mallet image is ready to be turned in. That's the one you want to turn in, and I'd say good luck.